image, I think, is becoming more and more important, and obviously with the explosion of social media, all of our images are out there a lot more 24/7, if you will. I know you're a big believer in image. What have you done to build that image over the years?
Well, I think most of all, I've become an expert in my field. And I think it's gone by the wayside. People think they can put their likeness on Facebook and Twitter and start tweeting and Facebooking and posting, and all of a sudden people will take them seriously.
Right.
Well, they might get, a lot of hits on their site, and they might get more friends, but those friends don't necessarily turn into dollars in their pocket.
Right.
I took a different tact. I wanted to be seen as the go-to person in my industry. I wanted to be the most knowledgeable individual first, and then I let the rest follow. Don't get me wrong, the social media, all of that stuff has been vitally important to the growth of my organizations and actually the sales of my book. The publisher basically said if you didn't have a great social media platform, no matter how good your book idea is, we're not necessarily going to let you write the book for us. They need you to have a platform. It's so important. With one click of a button, one mistake that you put out there in the ethosphere, you could damage your reputation and basically not make a turnaround. Here's a good story. There's a guy, and some of you might have heard this, from GoDaddy.com. He's the CEO of GoDaddy.com. And there was a picture that he tweeted out of him standing on top of an elephant with a gun, okay, a dead elephant, and with no explanation. Well, he got a huge firestorm because of that. It turns out he was visiting a tribe in Africa, and they routinely cull the herd because it tramples their food source. This is a very normal thing for them to do.
Right.
But it was a PR nightmare for him, and after he explained it, it was too late. So I am very cautious about what I put out there and how I'm perceived in the marketplace. But I spend a tremendous amount of time making sure I'm an expert in what I do and putting that likeness out in the public speaking events I do. And I hope it shows in the book that I crafted.
Well, you bring up a good point, and I hope that, the latest generation of entrepreneurs that are joining the ranks, they don't lose sight of becoming the expert first, thinking that social media is going to carry them.
Well, here's what I found, and there's all kinds of statistics about the generation coming up, the 20-something. Oh, they're not good, they're not doers, they're not this and that. I don't find that true at all. I think there's a certain sect of every age group that has that stigma attached to them. Mm-hmm. But there's one thing that is for certain. They do expect things a lot faster. Think about it, Tim. We're not that old, but we didn't have cell phones when we were in college.
That's right.
I barely had a computer. Remember the orange screens? And there was a computer lab. I went right here to Hofstra University.
Yeah.
There's no technology to speak of, and you had to go and you had to get things. You had to work for them. Now we've got in the palm of our hand any piece of information you could want.
Right.
Communication is not face-to-face anymore. What I see most of the younger generation is lacking is that face-to-face communication skills. They hide behind their text and the email. I'm generalizing everybody. It's not everybody. But in my own organization, I had a young woman come to me. She had been working with me for 6 months. And she's like, I've been here 6 months and she's been doing a good job. I was hoping for a 10% raise and I really like the corner desk better. And I'm not joking. And I'm like, you've been here 6 months. You started getting the coffee and now I didn't even know what to say. But here's the thing. We need to figure out what to say and how to work with these different generations to make sure our businesses don't fail, because we need these people. So I take an extreme effort in going out and learning how these people work, and I attend all these youth functions. I'm a mentor to a handful of young professionals, not necessarily just for a selfish reason to figure out how they tick, but to really truly help, because they're the people that are going to be leading our country. Mm-hmm. If we don't try to figure them out and just pretend we don't think it's happening, I think that's a huge, mistake and travesty for what's going to happen in America in the next 25 years.
Well, it's a refreshing insight, because a lot of people, when we talk about, the 20-somethings coming up now, with these guests on my show, there's a lot of bitching and moaning and complaining.
Stop complaining. Get out there and work harder.
Learn and embrace from them. But 10% in a desk, that was, hey, she had chutzpah. I like it. Folks, you're listening to The Profit Express right here on 88.7 FM WRHU. Today's guest is Rob Basso, author of The Everyday Entrepreneur, who, of course, is an everyday entrepreneur himself. Now, Rob, you also have an event coming up, don't you?
I do. I'm really excited about it. I mean, we had our official book launch earlier this year where I had all my business association friends, and I've done a bunch of radio shows and signings all over. But actually, in my hometown of Huntington, there's a place called the Book Review.
I love that place.
And I'm so excited that it's in my hometown. Next Wednesday, we're going to be having a signing from 7 p.m. To 9 p.m. And I was even more excited that my banner is right up next to Snooki's. I don't know if that's a great thing or not, but if you miss me, maybe you'll see Snooki. So you should come out. I'm very excited about it, and it's a proud day because whoever thunk, a kid from South Jersey would be writing books and having people. I still can't believe it myself. I'm living the dream every day, and I don't take it for granted.
Well, no, I mean, it's first of all, Book Review is a great place. And there's so few book reviews, that kind of bookstore left. So glad for them, glad for you to be there. Because the biggest and the best authors go there. It's a great place to be.
It is. I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, there's been some major bestsellers there.
Clinton was there. I mean, the list goes on.
So I'm happy to be in their company, and we hope that a good crowd shows up. And we're inviting all of Tim's listeners to come.
Once they finish listening to the Profit Express, because it starts at 7, okay? And then right after that, in your car as you're listening, once I sign off next Wednesday at around 6:59, then make a mad dash in to the book review. Chapter 4. No, hold on.
Get the title?
Hold on. Come on now. This is great. I want to say this one for after the break. Chapter 4 is, and I quote people, quote, it's entitled, "Is that a leprechaun in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?" Now, obviously...
I get a lot of grief for that one, but more compliments.
It's good.
More compliments.
I love it. Now, I have to assume you're talking about luck in some sort of way here. Now, in that chapter, you mentioned running with the winners. Now, you kind of get a sense, okay, I understand what he's saying, but what do you mean by that, running with the winners?
Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but let's take it a step further. It's not just about surrounding yourself with the proper centers of influencers or the influencers in your world. Mm-hmm. It's really about taking a look at what you do and expanding upon that and trying to find other like-minded people. And here's what it is. When I talk about luck within the book, there's all different types of luck. And I find that you get luckier when you surround yourself by people that are more successful than yourself.
Absolutely.
And it sounds so simple, but time and time again, I see people running in the wrong circles, hanging out with the influencers that are not a positive influence to their type of business, and they're spinning their wheels day in and day out. I mean, I'm a big networker, and I believe in the whole tenet of giving before you're getting and being the best you can out in the marketplace. But I've also become laser focused on the people I want to meet in the rooms that I want to travel in. And that's how you make your own luck. That's how you have that leprechaun in your pocket help you, is being in front of the right people. Don't waste your time meeting with people and being in the wrong places at the wrong time. There's a guy, his name is Evan Lambert. And Evan Lambert actually worked for EMI Music. He was one of the top guys at EMI Music. He started at the very bottom, literally getting coffee for people. He would wake up first thing in the morning to be there when the president of the company opened the door to say, "What file can I get you? What can I do for you?" You can still do that today. Yeah, is it harder to go from the mailroom to the boardroom? Sure it is. But there is nobody in the music business. Now he works with Matchbox 20. He works with Jay-Z, and he's the president of one of the largest music companies in the world now, in the publishing world, because he got coffee for the president, and he was there before everybody was there. That's not lucky. That's not lucky.
Right.
That's hard work. That's persistence. That's being in front of the people that can influence you in the biggest way. And that's what I talk about in that chapter with the leprechaun in your pocket. Are you happy to see me?
Well, he's with the Evan example you just gave, he's creating his own luck.
I know, again, some of these things we talked about, this is not rocket science. And, after I reread my own book several times, I'm like, geez, some of this is, some of the stuff that I wrote, I knew. But I wasn't practicing it in my own daily life. And I hear this from people that read the book. It's like, this one tenet, yeah, it's new to me because you presented it in a new way. But man, I got to get back to doing what I used to do. And I hope this book is that primer for this entrepreneurial success, to even for those people that think they're successful, go back to some of the basics. It can't hurt to figure out, oh my gosh, I've gotten away from what I used to be really, really good at. That's what made my luck. Now I'm stagnant. Why are you stagnant? Probably because you weren't doing the things that got you to be successful. You can never be complacent to be a long-term successful serial entrepreneur. Right.